Hi, I'm Robert. Welcome back to another edition of the High Desert Ranch and Homestead. Today I'm going to show you just what it's like on the farm or ranch, and it doesn't matter come rain or shine. When work has to be done, it needs to be done. But first you might notice behind me these dark clouds, which is a welcome sight. Not only does it cool things off, but if you're familiar with the conditions here in the Intermountain West, especially here in central Utah where I live, um, we're in extreme drought. In fact, it is one of the hottest and driest summers on record. Last year, 2020, was the hottest and driest summer on record here in this county, and this year is already quickly outpacing last. So I've heard some thunder and definitely felt a drop or two, which is a welcome sight because we haven't had any traceable precipitation since before Memorial Day, and it is now the middle of June. So, but that being said as well, you can probably see behind me, there's some hay bales that need to be picked up off the field. Luckily we've got everything cut except for a small little portion down by the pond, and all we have left to do is pick up the hay bales. But before you even pick up hay bales, there's the cutting part, and I'll show you a little bit of that, but also I'm going to show you just what it's like because of these extreme drought conditions. It's one of those things of you need to bale the hay, which means pick it up off the field and with a hay baler and make it into these bales, which the bales behind me are not the smallest bales, but they're about 65 pounds each. And when you go to bale your hay, you need just a little bit of dew. And with it being so hot and so dry, in fact, we're 10 to 15 degrees above normal this summer, and we've received no rain. We need to bale when the conditions are there, and because of that, the conditions have been very late at night. Unfortunately, we don't have a setup to where it sprays moisture as the hay is being picked up and baled. So stay tuned and please come along with me to see what it's like to making hay or baling hay after dark. So at around 10:35, I hook up the baler and begin the long backup out to the field through the gate. The conditions are now just right, or they're beginning to become right. And usually always, after I have the equipment rest for the year, it does need a few repairs. And it turns out to be the case. The baler began to bale and the knots came undone, so I had to take a moment to get that knot retied in the machine and start baling just after 11. Things are still slightly dry, but due to the proximity to the river and nearby pond, the hay is in the perfect position, although you can see there is still some dust. And because it is slightly dark, I tend to miss some of the windrow, especially while making the turns. Not everyone's perfect. But I am grateful to have everything working at this moment and to have the lights on the tractor. So, something that with hay, it is an art as far as being able to know just when the conditions are right and to make sure that it is not too green or the hay will mold. But in this particular case, you want the hay just wet enough to, the hay enters the bale chamber and it is packed and even broken, that it doesn't break, but it just bends. So the moisture content has to be just right. And of course, as it is fed into the baler, you don't want to make sure that there's not too much hay or it will clog, and that is the last thing you want, especially in the nighttime. So the conditions as the night wears on continues to get better, and just after 2 o'clock I realize that the hay is getting a little too wet, especially as I'm now beginning to bale down by the pond and the river. However, there is becoming less and less hay that is ready at this point. So as it approaches near 2:30 a.m., I'm not only tired, but there is no more hay that is ready to be baled. So I do what any rancher would do, and that is to take the opportunity to shut off and rest for only to start again yet another day. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with others, and I'm grateful that you were able to come along and to escape the ordinary and find out what it's like, just what it's like to live here and ranch here in the Intermountain West in the high desert here on the High Desert Ranch and Homestead.